Good morning, beloved community. Well, this has been quite the morning for me. I want to begin by thanking everybody who was here at 10:30 and joined in our service. But by my own mistake, I forgot to press record. So I'm back to record hopefully just the message, and so you're gonna miss some of Madge's music and a couple of other things that happened. And as I get better at this, hopefully that won't happen again. So I want to begin the message today by acknowledging the amazing Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who passed away on Friday. And I just want to acknowledge what an inspiration she has been to me and all the good work that she has done for our country, that we definitely wouldn't be who we are right now, and particularly if you're female, almost anything that we're doing, Ruth Bader Ginsburg had a hand in helping us get the rights that we do have. So I send her great love and great blessing as she continues on her path. So I guess I'll just do what we would normally do, and that is start with treatment. So what I know is that there is only one thing happening, and that thing is God. And that it is from this place that each of us knows and accepts our own greatness. And that as we enter into the world today, we do it with an idea, a purpose, and a great love. Together we move into the world, acknowledging that there is this loving presence, this compassionate universe that is holding each of us gently in its embrace, and that we are safe, and that we are continuing to be those channels through which this great love shows up within ourselves, within this community, and throughout the planet. And it is from this place that we move forward. And so with great love, I thank you. I thank the presence, and I let it be so. And so it is. So last week, I spent 3 days, or at least part of 3 days, at a virtual ministers gathering. Last year, ministers gathering, which I attended, was in Kelowna, British Columbia. And it's a wonderful time for ministers to connect and also have some learning, be fed. So this year was no different. And every day we had great keynote speakers from outside the organization, but that are so in line with who we are and what we teach. So I wanted to share a little bit that Monday the keynote speaker was Dr. Shakti Butler, and she introduced us to, or at least me, it was brand new to me, a new word. And the word is Sankofa. Sankofa. And I'm gonna try to share this. So this is the symbol for Sankofa, and it's I just like this one because it was really colorful, but it's usually a bird that is looking back. And so its neck is always bent back and often is trying to retrieve something. And for instance, this one that we're seeing here is picking up this egg. And metaphysically, eggs can be some pretty amazing, wonderful things. But anyway, Sankofa means go back and get it. And there was an add-on to that definition, which was look for what is at risk of being left behind. So I know that in our teaching, our outer experience, our everyday life reflects our inner thoughts and our inner beliefs. But what happens when our daily thinking and our inner beliefs are out of sync? I have an example that's from my own life, because that's what I got right now is my own life. But I think you'll be able to relate if you do anything with a computer, play on it, work on it, whatever. So this happened a couple of weeks ago, and I had done my daily practice and I felt really good. I felt great. But it was time to go on to the more mundane practices of my life and doing my best to bring all that I know myself to be to those. But at some point during the day, I went to work on my computer, and the system was a little glitchy. I was experiencing a lot of lag time, and I was like, why isn't this loading? And I kept telling myself that it was okay, that it wasn't that many years ago, that none of this was even possible. So just take a deep breath and move on. But I could definitely feel my frustration, my angst building and becoming louder and louder. Then I logged into my bank. And after I had put in all the passwords, IDs, blah, blah, across the screen in big bold letters, it said, account temporarily unavailable. Went on to say, your account is currently unavailable due to a site issue. We expect this to be resolved shortly. Please try again later. Really? This was kind of a last straw moment for me. I didn't want to try again later. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do it now. There was no room for understanding. There was no room for this too is God. There was no room for the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. But there was plenty of room for frustration, colorful language about the bank, the computer. You get the picture. Felt kind of like a mountain of obstacles, which reminded me of, I don't remember who shared this originally, but I got to try to do my best to share it with you. I didn't want to deal with any more mountains, any more obstacles. And I had this, if this is the best the universe has to offer, then I'm out. So unpack the supplies, send the Sherpas home, crawl back into bed and call it a day. This account is temporarily unavailable due to personal issues. And then I had this aha moment, a simple Buddhist teaching that says, don't just do something, stand there. I think in the West, we are so ready to just keep pushing and keep doing. And sometimes what we need to do is be still. And in that moment, I realized I needed to stand back for a moment and become the conscious observer of my thoughts my feelings, my action. I needed to notice where those thoughts, those actions, those feelings were taking me. And then I asked, is this where I want to go? Is this how I want to be there? And even though I hadn't heard the word, for that moment, I know now that I stood in Sankofa. I needed to go back and get it being my whole self, for I was at risk of forgetting who I really am. But don't get me wrong, I totally understand that there is stuff we don't like that's going on all around us. And it's going to happen. But I also know that whatever that stuff is for you, whatever it is for me, that isn't all there is. It isn't all I am. It isn't all you are. And so, with that in mind, to stand somewhere and take those moments to reconcile our truest self with our outer self is really important. And the truth is, we have 86,400 seconds every day today. In other words, we have 86,400 nows to remember who we are and why we're here. Introspection of what we believe is missing in our lives right now. But I know that in the truth, nothing is missing. Oh, I know that there seems to be this kind of spiritual amnesia when we forget our true source, our true substance. But the good news is it's never too late to remember. Back on my day, what happened is I did re-log in and my bank account came up. It was running perfectly. Everything I needed was completely available. And as I looked at that, I had this feeling inside that, well, that's true for me too. Right now, I'm running perfectly. Everything I need is completely available. So that feeling, was that a coincidence? Was it just because the bank worked and now I had permission to feel better? Yeah, I don't think so. But one thing I do know for absolutely sure was that what came out was thank you. Thank you for the great technology. Thank you for the bank. And thank you, Candace, for remembering who you are. So I want to end with a quote. This is from the Gospel of St. Thomas, which you won't find in the King James Bible. It was one of the books that got edited out. But it still has a lot of truth. And in this gospel, Jesus says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. For me, that's just saying stay in sync. Bring out that which is truly you, and that will save you. And if you don't, then be prepared. Maybe destroyed is a little bit harsh of a word, but to feel sad, to feel frustrated, to feel panic. So it might be a good idea today to look and see, is anything in my life, in my psyche, in my thinking out of sync? And if it is, then take a moment and bring forth what is truly within you. Remember Sankofa and claim what is at risk of being left behind. In the simplest terms I can put it, simply remember who you are. So, in closing, we would normally do a treatment. So I think that is still what we're going to do. So join with me now and recognize that right where each of us is, there is this incredible presence, this infinite love, this infinite wisdom, this infinite compassion that lifts us up and moves us forward. And any moment, every moment, past, present, and future, that's the truth. This is who we truly are. We are God experiencing our own greatness and being a channel through which that love, that compassion, that peace, harmony, joy, inspiration, all of it flows. And as we allow that to be the truth of the activities of our life, remember that this is always so. And it is always so for all beings everywhere, known and unknown, seen and unseen, great and small. And in this moment, we go back and we claim it as our own. There is no risk of forgetting. In this moment, we remember. And in this moment, we give great thanks for the unfoldment of a world that works for everyone. And it is from this place that I honor, I release these words knowing that they are acted upon immediately by a universal law that always says yes. And I let it be so. And so it is. So thank you for being part of our Zoom, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you. I also want to remind you how grateful I am and the entire center is for your ongoing contributions. There are two ways to give to the church at this point, and one of them is just write a check and mail it in. The other is to create a payee in your banking program if you bank online. This is my favorite way. It's the third Sunday, so today is the day I go on and make all my donations. So join me and today make a donation for the ongoing unfoldment of our center and making sure that our center continues to prosper and be here for all of us. I also want to remind you that I am looking for input on other things that you would be interested in as far as ways to connect with one another. We've talked about book groups, and I have a couple of really great books. I'd be thrilled to have a few of you join me and take a look, and more about that later. We also have been talking about doing midweek check-in, which would probably be, Wednesday, but maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, and probably later in the day. But I need to know if you're interested in that or not. And there would be either me or one of our practitioners would always be there. But it would be like a half an hour. I know a couple other centers that are doing it. And sometimes just to say hello is all you really need to do. We're also looking at reestablishing prayer partners, or if you just want somebody to talk to, people that would be available on daily that you could give a quick call. So let me know if you're interested in that. We're also looking at Power of 8 groups, which they don't have to be 8, but and those people usually, from what my understanding is, there are topics, but they're relevant. And how do we apply our teaching to these circumstances? What do we need to know? And also, I want to remind you that on my Facebook page, so if you have Facebook, go on and go to my page, which is just Candace Beckett. And when you get there, every day I post a question, and this has been so much fun for me, and I think it's fun for the people that are participating. There are lots of people that are not members of our center that are already doing this, and there's lots of ministers that are asking the question a day, so take a look. And it's just a nice way to have a quick little connection. I read every response, so you just need to know that. And also, this recording will be posted on Facebook as soon as we're finished here. And Bonnie, who asked me to let all of you know that in January we will be having our annual meeting. It will very likely be virtual. And we'll be electing 2 new board members. So if you're interested, we definitely would love to talk to you about that. And the best way to learn about requirements, but if you're interested at all, please give Bonnie a call. And if you don't have her number, call the church and they will, Gail's in there about 1 day a week, and she'll get that, and she'll get your message to Bonnie so that you can connect and find out about being a board member. So, okay, that's it for today. I'm sorry you missed the closing song. Madge sang, I am saying thank you. So I'll just say the words. I'm saying thank you. I am saying thank you. I am saying thank you. Thank you is my practice. Love you all. See you next week.